Hey Books! Welcome into our Gemini-Cancer Cusp Love Tarot reading for January 2026. I thank you guys so much for tuning into this message whenever you decide to, and thank you for being here on this side of the channel. Make sure you guys participate in the deck giveaway that is posted on the members tab. And let's get into it. I just want to hop right on in here. Gemini Cancer, it's a very interesting energy that I was getting while I was meditating for this message. Somebody could be struggling to communicate with you about some sort of like financial, material world issue that they might be having. Okay. It's like somebody's trying to figure out how to say something to you or doesn't know how to let you in on something. Somebody could be a little guarded. Okay. Now, it did feel very, very, like a very strong connection. It felt like a very, very strong connection that you have with somebody. But there could be some sort of Saturn cycle that someone's still in. Okay, and not because they're choosing it, just in the cosmic. Somebody could be going through a Saturn return right now. And it's creating some sort of shift or change in their world that hasn't settled yet. I just heard that. It hasn't fully settled yet. So that could be why there's a delay in communication. If you are anticipating some sort of connection or not waiting on someone to reach out, but kind of like wondering what's going on with someone, it does seem like they're maybe at the tail end of a Saturn soul cycle, and they have to kind of let that settle first before they can say anything or kind of move into the next chapter. So somebody's waiting to move into a next chapter of their life, maybe before communicating with you or before integrating you into their world. It seems like they're very aware of you. You might be very aware of them. Okay. But something has to settle first. And again, this isn't a Saturn cycle that someone's chosen necessarily. It's not like they're not making good choices and decisions. It's just in the cosmos for whoever this is, okay? To learn some sort of lesson when it comes to money and finances or the material world. So their second house could be very active. Saturn could be in their second house, so it's just kind of the arc that they're on in this lifetime. But it does feel like somebody is trying to figure out either like what to say to you about it or when to say something to you about it or how to. It's like maybe this person feels like you wouldn't really understand what they're going through and where they're coming from, right? Safe place just slipped out the deck. Maybe that's it. Maybe this person doesn't know if they have a safe place with you. This person could struggle with vulnerability a little bit. Like, very much so giving, I'll handle it on my own. No one has to like know what I'm really going through. So maybe privacy is very important to this person. That could be what's in question. Do they have a safe space with you? This could also be what you might be going through and thinking about someone. Like, it would be great to have someone to talk to about what's going on in my life, but then can I trust that person? Am I safe to do so? Okay, that could be the question. Or what someone just doesn't fully know yet or hasn't really settled on a yes or a no when it comes to this situation between y'all. Okay. Show me a little bit more here, Divine, about what's going on with Gemini Cancer. Okay. Courting. Interesting. Okay, so this could definitely be somebody who is pursuing you, or you are pursuing, or you're in some sort of courtship with. Okay. Yeah, this period of development towards a romantic relationship is important. This time will help you both see if marriage is in the cards. So that's what I mean. It's like maybe this is one of those situations where time will only tell. Or someone maybe feels like they haven't known you long enough, or you feel like you haven't known someone long enough to kind of let them into your world that intimately. Okay, but there is a lot of attraction here, fire and desire. Words of affirmation, right? It's like there is some sort of communication that wants to happen, but somebody maybe just doesn't know if it's the right time to talk about it. Again, this feels like a deep trust issue, okay? Maybe both of y'all have it for it to be coming through so strong. Yeah, I love you. Just flipped out here. Main attraction, ego versus the self. I feel like that's really the core of it, okay? And maybe that's a part of that Saturn cycle that somebody's journeying through right now. Okay, can I get one more for Gemini Cancers in love and romance? That's way too many. Can I get one more for way too many? What's ego versus the self? Fate. Okay, so fate is at play. That's what I mean. Only time will tell. I'm hearing an act of bravery. Partnership. Like I said, this is somebody that you really might have a solid partnership with, or you could. There's a lot of potential for that, or this could be why you two are coming together, a partnership that values stability, emotional integrity. I think that's what someone's trying to figure out, how to remain emotionally integritous when it comes to this situation. Shared goals and purpose. Enjoy the beauty of this bond while you're building your future together. Okay. Yeah, it's like someone wants to be vulnerable, but they're not sure if it's the right time, or, you know, yeah, it's like somebody's questioning that. Again, the safety of the situation, the safety of the connection. Now, that could definitely just be them versus their ego, okay? Absolutely. 100% could be a big part of that. But fate is at play in this situation, okay? Fate is definitely at play. Yeah, never be afraid to express your true feelings with the one you love. Seize the opportunity to let someone know that they are missed or loved. This may be your or your person's love language. And maybe that's what's yet to be discovered. Yeah, that's the truth, Judgment, and the Ace of Swords. Maybe that's what someone hasn't fully discovered about this connection with you, or about y'all's love languages. It's like they want to say something, but they don't know if they should. But it's almost like someone's on the other end like, no, say it. Like, it's okay to say it, but they don't. Okay, so, okay, I just heard trauma. This could be a part of somebody's trauma, and maybe that's a part of also that Saturn energy that's helping them to learn something about themselves. Maybe in the past when this person had spoke up or like shared their true feelings, some sort of traumatic event happened, or they got shut down, or it caused some sort of disruption in their world or their life, or it wasn't received well. I just heard it turned into a disaster. So it's like someone's trying to avoid turning something into a disaster or messing something up by expressing themselves, but they're not going to mess anything up by expressing themselves, but they don't know that. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like somebody still has to be brave enough to do it and not be afraid of what happens next. But I think that's a strong fear here for somebody. Yeah, Chiron here with the Nine of Wands. It's a wound that someone is trying to learn how to heal. Judgment and the Ace of Swords. Yeah. Someone absolutely does feel called to express themselves or speak their truth, which feels like this I love you energy. But it's like last time I did that, I got laughed at, or I got, you know, it again turned into some sort of disaster. So someone's trying to avoid disaster when it comes to this situation. It's almost like someone's trained to walk on eggshells when it comes to love and romantic partners. They might have been in abusive situations, no trigger warning, but they might have been in abusive situations where anytime they did speak up or, you know, express themselves, they might have received some sort of violence because of it, whether that's verbal violence, emotional violence, spiritual violence, or physical violence. Okay, there's a lot of different types of relational abuse that people go through. So I think someone has just been trained to kind of be cautious around that, like almost thinking like my truth causes disaster. I was only speaking my truth, but then it made someone spiral out, or it made somebody, you know, hurt me or harm me in a certain way. So I'm not going to do that because I don't want to get hurt or harmed. Okay. Geez. Yeah, that's a little heavy. It's a little heavy. We're going to pray for that person because I totally get it, but it's something that they're going to have to find the courage to step out of. Okay, so tell me about this courting energy. High Priestess, I'm confirming something, okay? Maybe that's the even truth, that somebody wants to court you or you want to court someone. Okay, maybe somebody wants to court you in secret, in private. Like I said, this could be somebody who's very private. And that could be a trigger. Yeah, 4 of Wands with the 5 of Cups. This person might have a pattern in love and relationships of like saying I love you, proclaiming it to the world, like making it all known before anything was really solid. So then like when it doesn't work out, it maybe was a source of embarrassment for this person. Or do you see what I'm saying? It's like there's some sort of like, let's know for sure before we make anything known or public, which I think is smart. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, right? I really don't. So long as you're not meant to remain a secret forever. And I don't know. I think there's value in dating in private. Because again, if it doesn't work out, then there's really no true loss, right? Before you invite them over, before you introduce them to your family or your friends, like before they get actually fully involved in your life, you want to make sure this is someone you really genuinely like, first and foremost, right? Like I think someone might be at that point with this situation. Show me fire and desire. The World. There's that Saturn energy. Okay. Something about the fire and the connection, the chemistry between you two, I guess I should say, the passion between you two. Is something that's supported by the universe. Okay. So this is a connection that's supported by the divine, believe it or not, Gemini Cancer. But let's see, what's the words of affirmation? The 7 of Swords. Yeah, this is where the trust issues, I think, start to show up in this dynamic. Someone might have a hard time believing words. Like, I'd rather see action. Don't tell me what you're going to do. Don't tell me how you feel. Show me. Okay? This could also be a part of that Saturn cycle, like I was saying, that someone is learning how to communicate and speak their truth without the fear of retaliation or disaster coming about. So this is somebody unlearning a habit or unlearning a pattern when it comes to love and romance. Because I do think the truth of what they feel is the I love you. And maybe that's also it. It's like no matter how much you say you love someone, someone might not fully believe it. Or it's like there's still that level of, I don't know if I can trust it. Again, someone definitely has some deep trust issues here. Okay. Show me the I love you energy. Show me the I love you energy for Gemini Cancers. The 3 of Cups. Yeah, it's like somebody feels like it's surface. Like, okay, yeah. I'm so sorry. Because it does feel like you might be with someone or about to be with somebody who definitely has 9 of Wands. Yeah. They've been through a lot when it comes to love and relationships. And it's not necessarily, again, your role to pull them out of that. But this is going to be the connection where they do learn to, I almost want to say, to outgrow those habits. This might be the connection, okay? So safe place. You might be the safe place for this person. And maybe even vice versa. So whatever safe space they can offer you will help you outgrow some sort of pattern in love and relationships, and same thing for them. So like, yeah, the I love you is like, again, I hear you, but I don't see you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to see it because I've been told those things before and those people did not love me at all. Like, that's what I feel like this person would want to say or where they're coming from. So it's like, I can't believe just words. I can't build anything just off of words. But in like, interestingly enough, maybe words of affirmation is someone's love language. So it's like, no, when I say it, it's absolutely meant. Yeah, maybe in the past when other people have said it, maybe they didn't mean it. But if I say it, I mean it. But how do you reassure somebody that that is the case? Actions have to match it. Okay, so show me main attraction. Thank you. The Two of Wands. Yeah, I definitely feel like that's what I mean by action. If you love me, if you care for me, court me. Yeah, oh, that's so interesting. Okay, so this is kind of a dynamic where, oh boy, y'all both have your red flag sensors, but it's a situation where those red flags might be triggered, but it's only triggered up so that you can move through them and let them go. So it might feel familiar, but it's not the same. And that is a very, very tricky dynamic. This is the healthy love after the toxic one. And that is difficult to navigate. Because you have to get through the Seven of Swords that each person is still kind of working on or working through from each other. So this is going to require a lot of compassion. This is going to require maybe even a little bit of forgiveness. Like, a lot of grace is needed in this situation. A lot of grace is needed. Seems like you're both healing from things. But this is the connection where that healing gets to happen, as opposed to it being on your own. Sometimes you can get to that sense of self-awareness and I know who I am and I know what I deserve, but then you get in a relationship and like fall back into the old patterns. It seems like this is the relationship that helps solidify those new healed patterns for both of y'all. Okay. Yeah, ego versus the self is the dynamic that you're both in, which is why fate will have its way in this connection based off of how y'all handle that ego versus the higher self battle internally. Okay. So show me this ego versus the self. Yeah, don't fall for the trap of always listening to your ego. The ego's going to want to say, oh, they really don't love me. They're just saying that. The ego's going to want to say, I bet they're like telling me all these things and pouring their heart out to me so that they can then hurt me later. Like, that's the ego talking. The ego is built to remind us of what we've been through so that we stay safe. It is its primary function, is to keep us alive. And so if we've experienced pain, anything that resembles that experience, the ego's going to flare up. But that's why the higher self, that strength card energy, is so, so important. Because it's the higher self that has to come in and say, hey, we understand that that's the original red flag. Like, we get that it looks similar, but why don't we just calm down, relax, and give it a chance. So this maybe feels very risky for both of y'all. That's very interesting. It's two hearts that are meant to be in love with one another, but they're both having to take a risk to do so. Ooh, okay, interesting. Show me ego versus the self. What's this about? Thank you. I feel like I tapped into it. Yeah, I can't make it up. The Four of Cups. Right. Oh, that cup is just coming out of nowhere. It's just going to be just like the other 3 cups I've had. No, that cup, if you pay attention, comes from the hand of the divine. Therefore, it has some sort of higher energy, higher frequency, higher awareness to it. But if you only focus on the 3 cups that you've been through, and you don't pay attention that that cup is floating, that cup isn't on the ground, that cup is floating by the hand of the divine, See what I'm saying? That's the higher self coming in like, no, this is a different cup. This is a different kind of love. But all you're focused on is the 3 of Cups that you've already been through. So what would make that cup so different? That's what you said last time. Da 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 da. And then you see, but that's all safety mechanisms in the ego at play, which is what it's made to do. So this is an egoic healing for both of y'all. Can you allow yourself to be loved despite the sure possibility of being hurt again, being disappointed, being let down, something going wrong, all things that you can't prevent? Maybe that's also a part of the egoic healing. Yeah, you have to remind yourself that you can't stop anybody from doing anything. They're going to make their choices and decisions. All you can control is how you respond. Okay? But you have to kind of allow people to be there and be present and watch what they do and then respond accordingly. That's how that new healed energy, those new healed self-beliefs, that healing sense of self-love can actually solidify into patterned action. So anytime I feel like somebody's giving me the runaround, I don't have to have my ego flare up. I can just make the decision to not entertain the connection. Do you know what I'm saying? Focus elsewhere, let the person go in the relationship from a very confident and secured space. So that's what it seems like you both are working towards. Show me how fate plays a role in this situation, Divine. Like I said, 5 of Cups to the 4 of Wands. It takes a lot of courage to admit that something hurt your ego. It takes a lot of courage to admit that the ego might be bruised a bit. And that's what the 5 of Cups feels like to me. Admittance. It's easy for the ego to posture and say, nope, 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 we're not letting any more cups in because these 3 cups have been ass. They sucked. We don't want any more. No, no. You know what I mean? That's very easy for the ego to do. Very much more difficult for the ego to say, these 3 cups hurt. And I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to go through that again. So that's what I mean by healing. Because in truth, what the 5 of Cups shows is a sense of mourning. It's acknowledging that those 3 cups weren't it. And again, that can be a shot to the ego, a shot to the pride, especially if they were cups that you poured a lot into, you cherished, you gave your all to, or you thought you did. So in the acceptance of that 4th cup from the hand of the divine, it is going to cause a bit of mourning, a bit of sorrow, because then the soul, the ego has to admit, okay, we were hurt. But that leads to the 4 of Wands. So, okay, this is kind of the needed bumps and little kind of hiccups that are necessary in order for there to be a smooth path between you and this person, okay? So it almost feels like a union is fated here. That's what wanted to come right back out. A union is fated here. It's just a matter of the ego versus the self, which is a lot easier said than put to practice, okay? So that's the work when it comes to love and romance for you here. For you and this person. I don't think you're the only one in this, or they're the only one in this, okay? Show me the energy between the High Priestess and the World. Okay. Literally, Chiron, the 9 of Wands. Back out again. Wounds. Okay. Yeah, the 5 of Wands, the 5 of Pentacles, the Tower, and the 3 of Wands. I just heard someone is afraid to be left out in the cold wanting more. Someone anticipates disaster, anticipates something going wrong, anticipates something being a struggle because maybe that's the only love they've known. Is I gotta fight other people off of you, I gotta fight for your attention, I gotta fight for this, I gotta do that, and then you know, I'm going to get the short end of the stick. You're probably going to go love on other people. It's like, this is just somebody like, again, doing what the ego does, predictive, trying to and preventative, more or less, preventative. How do we not get hurt? Again, the ego's main function is to keep us alive. And sometimes emotional pain can feel like physical pain. And maybe there was physical pain involved. You see what I'm saying? It's like, we don't want to go through that again. But you can't know if you're going to go through it again if you don't try to open up, or if you don't allow someone in. That's hard. I get it. Yeah. It feels like a rock and a hard place for somebody, but I almost feel like with the I love you and the main attraction and this faded energy, somebody might find the courage to really step outside of that narrative. And again, it's the Knight of Wands, not the 10. Give something another try. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles with the 10 of Swords. Exactly. It's a mindset shift. Saturn energy. Okay. It's a mindset shift that someone has to go through. Show me the World. The 9 of Swords wanted to come out. Show me the World and the 7 of Swords. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, very easy for the ego to posture up and protect. Again, it's like the last time I felt that kind of chemistry, that kind of desire and that fire for someone, they screwed me over. They put 10 swords in my back. And so the ego's like, well, not doing that again. So anytime we feel fire and desire, we're going to put that in the red flag category. And you see how warped that is, though? Because that might not be the case. Just because you had intense attraction with someone and it didn't lead to something positive doesn't necessarily mean all intense attraction that you have from there on out is going to have the same outcome. But that's what someone is low-key convinced of, I feel. Or that's what they know they have to let go of. Or they're really trying to calm the ego down enough to not get trapped in that. Yeah, to trust the guidance of their true self. Because the ego can easily influence the thinking with fear. They're trying to come out of that fearful thinking when it comes to love and romance. So again, this might be a connection that requires patience on both of your ends. Okay. Show me the 7 of Swords with the 3 of Cups. Yeah, the Hermit. This is somebody who maybe at one point convinced themselves that they were going to be alone forever. That nobody was worth trusting. I can't trust. Again, this is somebody who can't trust what people say. People have said a lot and have not followed through or done the complete opposite of what they said. So it's kind of like it doesn't mean anything. And that's what maybe be a bit difficult because it feels like words of affirmation is important. So like when somebody says something, they really do mean it, but someone also can't receive that love language because they've been told so many lies. So I can't believe that you really mean that because people change, things change. You see what I'm saying? It's like there is a happy ground though. There's a middle ground that I feel like you both can find. Let's see. Show me the 3 of Cups with the 2 of Wands for I love you and main attraction. The Knight of Wands. Right. Right. Somebody feels as if because the attraction is so intense that not that that's all that it could ever be, but that's all someone wants. Okay, it's like, yeah, okay, let's say we give into the fire and desire. Once we do that, then what? Are you gonna Knight of Wands me like everybody else? You see what I'm saying? It's like, ooh, yeah. And that's, again, that's their work. That's both of y'all's work. All you have to focus on is being your most true and authentic self. And hopefully you both can see each other trying to do that. And again, give grace where it's needed. Yeah, Emperor energy. Right, the ego wants to control. And that's a very normal and natural function of the ego. Yeah. And I almost feel like, depending on the circumstances between y'all, it's like you can't, I don't think you can blame anybody. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oof, it's a big leap of faith that the heart has to make when it comes to this situation. You got to have a leap of faith and trust that the past won't repeat itself. Again, when someone says something, they really mean it. It's not just to say it. Yeah, it's someone's need for control that has to be looked at here or checked, or maybe both of y'all. Show me the Four of Cups with the Four of Wands for ego versus self and fate. The Wheel of Fortune, exactly. Yeah, things in life and love, things may not always be clear, make sense, or seem to be going our way. That what's meant to be will be. Choose peace as you navigate life, right? What's meant to be will be. Wheel of Fortune. And again, when I asked what's fated, it's the Four of Wands, union. So union is meant to be between you and this person. Again, we got partnership at the bottom as well. This is what I mean by just like the kinks of it all have to be worked out. You both are maybe coming from very rocky pasts. Yeah, Empress energy right here. But yeah, this is the Emperor to your Empress, or the Empress to your Emperor. Okay. The Star to the Hermit, the High Priestess to the Hierophant. It's just a matter of you both occupying those energies in order for this Four of Wands to take place. Okay. And it seems inevitable. What did I just say? The Hermit to the Star. It seems inevitable. Show me the Seven of Wands with the Hermit. Yeah, so this could be somebody that is a bit distant from you, or at a distance from you. That distance is going to close here. It will. Yeah. Ten of Wands, exactly. Exactly. Someone has to let go of the pain that they're carrying. Again, they just have to trust again. Someone just has to find the courage to be vulnerable, Star card energy, and trust. Hermit energy. Show me Hermit with the Knight of Wands for this I love you. The Empress. The Six of Pentacles with the Ten of Swords. Exactly. Exactly. So once this star energy actually completes, maybe that's what hasn't settled just yet. Once this person completes their star energy cycle, they then in turn become the Empress to this Emperor. Show me the Knight of Wands with the Emperor. Death energy. Yeah. Empress as Venus, the celestial body, ushering in some sort of transformation and ease. But, you know, it's important that that horse is white and the flag, the rose on the flag is white. This is transformation that's not necessarily coming in to destroy, but to... I hear the word relief, to bring in relief. And that's also the Hierophant in the Death card. To bring about needed and necessary change. And this is needed and necessary change for the both of y'all. Okay, show me the Emperor with the Wheel of Fortune. Ten of Swords, exactly. That's the change that's needed. You both are ready to come up from those 10 swords. Yeah. And I think that's what maybe even makes this partnership worthwhile, because you both are kind of coming from a similar space. You both can relate to what each other has gone through, had to transform through. And that way there's this level of compassion and sensitivity and awareness that might be missed in other connections. Like if someone's never really experienced that, then they might not have the same compassion or understanding or patience for it. So you both have the right, let me say it like that, you both have the tools to be with each other. It's just a matter of ego versus the self, like believing that this is something that can work. And really, I would almost want to say you might be two sides of the same coin. So you're really more alike than you are different. And maybe that's what fuels this passion. It's like there is a lot of similarities, but the similarities are ones that can be a bit challenging to move through. It requires trust in one another. And that's what this courting, and that's why, again, courting is necessary. Come on now, I want to rebuild our connection, just slipped out of the deck. This is why courting is so important. That's the moments where you do build trust in one another. You get to see each other's character without having too many strings attached. But I feel like once y'all enter that courting phase and you really do get to know one another, that's where the love kind of grows and amplifies. It's going to make it a lot easier to come up out of those 10 swords. It's going to make it a lot easier to put the 10 wands down. But it can't happen unless you all allow each other the room and the space to kind of like the safe space to be vulnerable. I can't make it up. Full circle. Yeah, you're everything I want and need. And I think that's truth for both of y'all. What you need and want, they have. What they need and want, you have. It's stored in both of y'all. But there has to be, yeah, it's just a learning curve. It's just learning. That's all y'all are doing. This is, whatever this is going to come together, Gemini Cancer. This is going to come together. It is. It's fated to come together. But it is a matter of choosing peace. And sometimes peace might look like fear. Like what you think is the peaceful choice is actually the fearful choice. So that might even be something that has to kind of come to someone's awareness or both of y'all's awareness. Okay, what do the higher selves of this person and Gemini Cancer want to say in this situation? Okay. You're all I've ever hoped for. You're my dream person. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of compatibility between you two. Okay, I'm disappointed in myself for letting you down. Interesting. Somebody could have felt like they were ready to be vulnerable. And then again, like I think that's exactly what I said earlier. It's one thing to be like, okay, I've healed, I've gotten through certain things, but you're still alone, you're by yourself. It's a whole nother thing to then have to put that new version of self, that new healing, that new awareness into action in a connection with someone else. And I think that's either where one of y'all is starting when this comes together, or y'all both are kind of going to be in that energy towards one another. Both having to kind of like cautiously take a step to get closer and closer and closer. But somebody's got to be brave enough to take the first step. Maybe y'all both will take the first step at the same time. That would be kind of cute. But I kind of feel like that. Like maybe someone attempted to take a step and then it backfired because someone wasn't ready. And that let somebody down. Tell me a little bit more about the higher selves in this situation. I'm afraid you will forget about me, but I wouldn't blame you. Okay. Okay, that could be a part of that self-esteem type of a thing that maybe needs to grow here. What else? I need space. This separation is needed right now. Okay, so like I said, there could be some sort of distance between you and this person. And somebody could be very nervous that the distance is going to make y'all forget one another. So maybe the confirmation that you need is that what y'all have is fated. It's fated to be. It can't be forgotten. It's fated. But the space that y'all are in right now, right, someone has to go through that star healing. Someone has to be the hermit. That's absolutely what's more important right now. Okay. I treated you like an option and I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. Maybe that's that main attraction energy. That, again, someone's ego. That could be it. So maybe at one point this had an opportunity to come together and then someone's ego kind of got in the way of that happening. Again, I don't want to fully express what I feel because I think it might be too soon. It might be too much. It might be too intense. So I've been told from other relationships, you see what I'm saying? Somebody's maybe took, again, the safer route, what they thought might have been the peaceful thing to do, which was to maybe have some other options or to not honor what was felt. Try to make it seem like, oh, it's not that deep. It's really surface. It's just the 3 of Cups kind of a thing, when it was really something deeper. And that's where somebody messed up. Okay. But with the Wheel of Fortune and the 4 of Wands, I feel like it's fated for this to come back around. Okay. What else wants to be said? What did I say? I'm coming in to show you a better version of me. Exactly. Exactly. This is absolutely going to come back around. But I think this is something you would want to kind of come back around. Okay. Oh, says watching you move on is killing me, but I want what's best for you. I have the flashbacks I have about us are intense. There's that intensity. I can't keep going on without you. I feel like that even might be the conversation between y'all too. One person is like, okay, like if you're moving on, I'm happy for you. It hurts. It does. Yes. But if that's what's best for you, that's what's best for you. And then the other person is like, no, I actually can't live without you. Like, you see what I'm saying? I think there's maybe just a lot that hasn't been said between you two. That if it was said, what's going on would make a lot more sense. Okay. So it's like, it could look like someone's moved on when in fact they're actually preparing to come back around. Which is interesting. Yeah, okay. So there just needs to be a conversation or communication between you two. Maybe that's what might start up here soon. One more message here, Divine, for Gemini Cancer. I lost sight of what was important in our connection. Yeah. Yeah. And what is important is that the effort was there as opposed to the result. Again, I just think that this is something that's going to require a lot of compassion and a lot of grace on both ends. Somebody could have lost sight of that compassion and grace because of the ego flare-up that might have been happening. Seems like, and I feel like I almost want to put that in the Hermit's energy, because it feels like that's what someone's very introspective around right now. And then the other person is in the Star energy, having to let go of what was done, let go of what was said, kind of reconnect and realign with that sense of self. Because it could have like, yeah, maybe it's what created the disaster that I was picking up on earlier. Okay, let me know how any of this resonates with you, or if this speaks to your story in any way. I'd love to hear that from y'all, as always, in the comments. All right. I thank y'all again for being here and for your love and support. Don't forget, I am doing the deck giveaway for the deck thrift shop on my website. If there's any deck there that you might be interested in, you want to have as your own, I will gladly give it to you for free as a thank you for being here on this side of the channel, okay? Shipping on me. Just let me know which one you want. I'll give you the giveaway link to purchase it for free, and then I'll ship it to you. All right, my loves? All right, so hang in there. For those of y'all that are in this energy, just hang in there. I know it's rough. It's rough. And it might not make sense as to what's going on, but this is a fated event. This is a fated soulmate situation that will happen. Fate will bring y'all together in the way that's meant and needed, which seems to be some form of union, okay? It's just the messy process of kind of getting there that you're in the midst of right now, all right? I love you all so very much, and I do hope that this was helpful. I'll see you all in our next one. Namaste.